The following is a Stars and Strikes doubles rebroadcast featuring some of our most memorable recent programs.
WNDS Sports and Tri-State Megabucks present Stars and Strikes doubles. From the Londonderry Bowling Center, Stars and Strikes doubles features the best Candlepin bowlers from around New England in team competition. Stars and Strikes doubles is produced in conjunction with the New Hampshire Candlepin Bowling Association. And now your hosts, Doug Brown and Dan Murphy.
Hi, everybody, and welcome once again to Candlepin Stars and Strikes doubles here at the Londonderry Bowling Center. I'm Doug Brown along with Dan Murphy. Just a week to go before Christmas, and we are into semifinal weekend here on the program. And so, Mr. Murphy, we are down to our final three teams, and we've got a team that, well, they've won 2 in a row, so I guess you could say they're a hot team, but not because of the scores they're rolling. They're just getting enough to win.
Well, you know, they say one is as good as a million, and that's all. They've had the 3-pin victory last week, trying to make it 3 in a row, and now they're getting close to that Tournament of Champions as well. So 3 teams left. One of them is going to be in there.
All right, let's find out. We'll start our journey today with our semifinal match. First of all, our number 5 seeded team from Somersworth, New Hampshire, Tom Farrell. His partner from Manchester, New Hampshire, Bob Johnston.
Okay, Tom comes in averaging 116, 661 is roll-off score. Bob Johnston at 119 and 660.
And the scores they have rolled the last 2 weeks have not been high, but they've been enough to win. They rolled a 331 2 weeks ago and a 333 last week in order to advance to the semifinals. And in today's semifinals, they will take on our number 2 seeded team from Lynn, Massachusetts, Gene Gates, and his partner from Waltham, Mass, John Potorski.
Okay, Gene comes in averaging 118, 678 is his roll-off score, and John Potorski at 120 and 675.
All right, $250 will be the prize money for our runner-up team today. The winning team, of course, will advance to the finals, which will be held 1 week from today on Christmas Day. Semifinal weekend about to get underway here on Stars and Strikes doubles, and we'll be back with the first of our 3 strings right after these words. Don't go away. All right, once again, here are the 10 qualifiers that made it to this series on Stars and Strikes doubles. Stan Mayo and Scott Richardson standing by next week. They're our number 1 seeded team with those top 2 scores. Stan Mayo with a big 7-14 to win the roll-off. Gene Gates and John Potorski, the number 2 seeded team, coming in today for the semifinals. Last week, you saw the team of Mike Fish and Dan Broder. They came up just a few pins short. John Maffio and Randy Jarvis came up a few pins short the week before. Tom Farrell and Bob Johnston, those last 2 scores in the 10-man roll-off, and they are hanging in there right now from that number 5 spot, looking for their 3rd win in a row today. Gene Gates and John Potorski, the opponents, and next week, the finals against Stan Mayo and Scott Richardson. The winners of this match will advance into next week's championship. So here we go, Tom Farrell. He and his partner have been living on the edge the last 2 weeks, but they have won both of their matches.
A lot of times when you squeak by with a low score or 2, that's when you stay on a few weeks, because you're eventually going to get those big scores.
Spare to start. I believe I said they had a 333 last week. They had a 336 to win by 3. So they have won their 2 matches by a total of 8 pins.
Three and 5 pins left for Tom for another spare, 2 in a row.
No. And the 9-27 opening pair for Tom Farrell. And now, in a triumphant return appearance, John Potorski.
Everything but the 6-pin for John. Been a while since John's been here.
That's right. In fact, been so long that I gave his old hometown. He lives in Franklin, Mass now. John hasn't been here since April of '87, so more than 6.5 years now. Back in '87, he teamed with Caro Moran in a mixed doubles competition. John will try for the spare here now on the 2, 5, and 7. Yes,
Oh, two in
sir.
a row. Great shot. Played it on the inside of the 2-pin. Have the ball, carry him off there for the 7, and the 2-pin take the 5. Just like that, 2 in a row.
John waited 6.5 years. He wanted to get off to a good start. Here's Bob Johnson.
4 horsemen right, plus the 10, plus the 7-pin.
Tomorrow, our semifinals in singles. Tomorrow at noon here on the Winds, Peter Flynn against Dan LaPlume. Peter Flynn will be looking for his 2nd win in a row.
Dramatic win last week.
Yes. Oh,
Incredible.
one of the best ever. Featuring close finishes this month.
I guess so.
That was kind of an odd-looking hit for Bob.
He's got the 7-8. Let's see. I don't know if he can turn that wood or not. He may have to cap it to the left and have the ball carry him into the 7-pin. Coming real low. I don't know. Let's see. No. Whoa, that 7-pin jumped up in the air.
We're going to have Cindy Sissom go down and take care of a loose ball in the channel. I don't believe Cindy could see it from where she was. But it's right next to the 7-pin that Bob's going to be aiming at, so it will be removed. This is really a good crowd here today. They'll clap for anything.
They will.
All right, our first look now on Stars and Strikes at Gene Gates. Gene is a lot of fun to watch. Gene's been a longtime veteran of all the Candlepin television shows. I was talking to him before the match saying that I didn't want to make him feel old, but I remember watching him years and years ago, as I'm sure you do, Dan. Lives in Lynn, Mass now.
I don't remember.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. You're just, what, 27, 28?
Gene's been around. Yeah. Nice to see him in a lot of the tournaments.
Oh, fine shot. Not quite.
He was a good bowler back then, and of course he's on the show, so he's still a fairly good bowler.
Well, he was telling me prior to the show that he took about 3 years off from bowling, and he has just recently gotten back into it, and he's really enjoying it. And he had come close a couple of times to qualifying before finally making it this time.
That's a 2-pin advantage for his team. Gene Gates and John Potorski. Tom Farrell back up for his 2nd go-round.
Tom Farrell from Somersworth, New Hampshire. He and his wife Linda have a 3-year-old son, Nicholas.
Oh, boy.
Tom works as a purchasing agent for Davidson Textron. Does a lot of his bowling at the Dover Bowl. And he's got a 9-box in the 5th. That's 4 consecutive 9-boxes for the team. Tom, as we showed you a few minutes ago, qualified 9th with a 661 in the roll-off. And his partner, Bob Johnson, qualified 10th, actually in a tie for 10th with a score of 660. He was tied with Paul St. Pierre, and Tom converts the spare in the 6th.
Avoided the pin looking at him and just was able to clip enough of the 2-pin to carry into the 4. Their 2nd mark, both spares, so each team has the benefit of 2 marks apiece, all spares.
John Potorski. Boy, gave that one a run. He very nearly caught the 3-pin. If he had, he might have converted that shot. Very, very close. And he does for a 10. Nice out.
Gains a pin in as well. Leads now by 3.
Just slipping by the head pin. The 1, 2, and 10. No.
Oh, another nice 10.
Tom Farrell, or rather Bob Johnson, will come up now with a chance to put his team in the lead. Working on a spare left over by his partner, Tom Farrell. Oh my, slipping down for the half Worcester. So they still trail by 1. Bob Johnston, Manchester, New Hampshire. Big first ball that time. He'll shoot at the 4-8 for a spare. Johnston works at his family business, parents' own business, Johnston Flooring Service. Does a lot of bowling at both Merrimack and here at Londonderry.
And drives the 4-pin out, leaves the 8-pin. Just missing that spare opportunity.
The 10, 84 through 8. 85 through 8, I beg your pardon. Gene Gates in his traditional down to 1 knee pose as he approaches the foul line. And Gene turned away from that when he knew he had missed it. If Gene
That's
gets
about
it,
all the reaction you're going to get too. He just shook his head like, oh, missed it. You just turn around and grab another ball and go back at him again.
Gene took a little extra time on that ball. I think he wanted to make sure he was on target, and he was for the 10. Down to 1 knee again. And a fine 10 box for Gene.
There are 4 consecutive 10 boxes, and 3 out of the 4 anyways have been just superlative.
Tom Farrell gets them all.
First strike of the match. Off the ball of Tom Farrell in the 9th. Take another look at that one. It's the 5-pin being nudged over there.
Good box to get it in, the 9th. Still room for the multiple. And there it is! Double strike.
Call that one. It's a little quicker than the first one.
Big ball right here now. Looking for the turkey. Oh, boy. Not to be. They'll lose some of the benefit, actually, of the double with that 3 fill, and especially more so with the 4 now in the bottom. It'll be 122, but still 37 pins in the final 2. And that'll put a little heat on John Potorski here. Oh, John is right back, almost with a strike of his own.
He'll shoot at the 4-pin for a spare. Very nicely done.
Spare in the 9th.
Good follow through there, John. Trying to direct that ball right at the 4-pin. Ball breaks a little bit from right to left for John, and Everything was perfect that shot. Both of those balls.
John does not need more than one more mark in order to maintain the lead.
Right back in the pocket.
Because of the low fills on the double strike.
You would need this one.
Right. Watch out. No, he just carried it in the corner.
Double piece of wood that time really was benefited John, keeping the ball and the second pin in play. Gives him 116 plus the ball. So anything over 6, his team will grab the lead back again.
How about a tie? It'll be 122 apiece after game 1. 2 games remaining. Good match going once again here on Stars and Strikes Doubles. Semi-final week underway, and we'll be back with more in a minute. Gene Gates right after it to begin the second game.
Like a racehorse. Give him the go, and he's got this bowling ball, and he's off to the races.
For the spare.
Oh, how did the 10 pin stay up? Gene, as you can tell, does not waste any time between each ball. He slows him down as a rolling wood.
He'll cover that 10 pin for the 10. Gene lives in Lynn, Mass now. Works for Barry Manufacturing. Does a lot of his bowling at the Lucky Strike lanes right in Lynn. Tough break there, a little full on the head pin.
2, 4, 6, and 10. No wood.
One of these times on the split screen, you'll see Gene go down to one knee. He does it a lot. Bob Johnson to start game 2 for his team. He'll have a spare leave on the 1-3.
Yeah, not a bad break for missing the head pin to the left. Just those 2.
You just slipping by. And there it was. This match is still tied. Zeros all over the place. Covered the head pin that time. Solid pocket hit, leaving the 6.
Piece of wood in front of the 6.
Can't have too many of those. John Potorski kicks out the 7 pin, leaving a spare leave.
Last several boxes, John's really zeroed in on the head pin. This time he leaves just a 3-6. What's out? Oh, off the wall.
Don't hurt him, John. Very gently done.
Thought he was going by, but thank goodness for the sidewalls.
That's 5 marks for the team, all spares.
It's like 3 in a row now for John. Actually, if you go back to the 9th and 10th of the previous game.
John works as a machinist. I mentioned he lives now in Franklin, does a lot of his bowling at Fico's right in Franklin, Mass. And how about the 189 down there?
Well, the good news is it's 7 on the spare. Bad news is 3 tough pins to convert.
And the 8, 44 through 4. So 5 marks each team, and that's how close it is. Tom Farrell, by the way, working on the mark left over here from Bob Johnston, will give his team the lead, at least for the moment, with the 6 fill. No on the 7. maybe Tom thought he had that one.
I think so. Took an extra long look at the 7-pin, and the zeros are back again.
Oh, what a ball that was. Tom puts a lot of spin on the ball from right to left, and he had that one breaking right into the pocket.
No strike. Can't get much closer without getting one.
Spares it up in the fourth. We will take a break. This thing just about dead even. That spare gives Farrell and Johnston a 2-pin advantage. It's been that close the whole way. We'll be right back. Gene Gates. Gene off to the right, but he's got something to shoot at here. The 1, 2, 7, and 8. Yes, sir. That's his first mark, I believe. Yep. And it was a good one. Just 4 on it.
Gene kind of backs this ball up, breaks from left to right.
An 8 box for Gene, but he gets his first mark up on the board. And now it's Bob Johnston to fill in a mark. Left by Tom Farrell. Pulled it left. Pretty good wood, though.
Yeah, the 1, 3, 9, 1, 3, 8, and 9. It's pretty good.
Oh,
did you
no.
see that ball? Went in front of it, bounced off the left sidewall, and came just to the left of that 8-pin.
That ball stayed on the plate an awfully long time, didn't it? Let's have a look at it in slower motion. Here it comes, by once, in front of it, and then behind it.
Elected to go for the 2-4.
The 9. These guys continue to stay very close to each other. The lead hasn't been above 10 pins the whole match.
Oh, the 1 and the 8. Oh, great try.
John leaves the 3 and the 6. But not anymore. The 10 box. And John's going to have to reset on. John's going to have to re-rack on lane 29. John didn't notice it yet, but the 8-pin was missing in the rack down on lane 29, so he'll reset.
Oh, he's got 10 pins up there. Well, a 6, 7, and 10 piece of wood. We'd like to have it stay right where it is. Got a shot. 7-pin probably is going to be the problem pin. Oh, he's got to catch the wood.
Oh. Is this the week we're finally going to have overtime?
We've been flirting with it the last couple weeks. And this one has been under 10 pins the entire match.
That's right.
Dead even after the first game and fluctuated back and forth 1 or 2 pins. Now it's just a total of 5 pins for the team of Farrell and Johnston. And they're opposite 2 10 frames, 10 boxes, so if they were not to mark, chances are to be a little closer.
Tom trying to work this out, but he'll take 7.
There we go. Down to 2 pins now, the lead for Tom Farrell and Bob Johnson.
Again, Tom spins that ball from right to left, and that time it spun back a little too far on him and cut past the head pin on the Brooklyn side. He'll shoot now at the 1, 3, and 8. Yes! Fine shot.
Split the 1 and the 3, and I think the head pin comes off the left sidewall and gets the 8 right there. Very nicely done is right. Gene Gates off target to the left, but leaves himself a makeable spare in the 1, 3, and 10. No wood. Looks good.
Oh yeah, fine shot for Gene Gates. Gene doesn't give us a lot of time for replays. Let's see if we can get this one in. There it is, and he's ready to go. We gotta speed those replays up. Credit to Victor Cross and the crew here for slipping that one in.
There'll be no sleeping in the truck in this match. You're gonna be on your toes.
Gene almost had himself another mark in the 10th, but he'll take a 9 box. It'll be 111 and a 233 after 2 for the team of Gates and Potorski. Bob Johnston to finish up now. This is on a spare, and he fills with a 6.
You might want to catch that front piece of wood to the right. A little bit of that. Oh, goes by it. That might have helped him with the 10 pin. Plus, they might have come off the wall for that 5.
It's a 9 box. Well, down to the final box in game 2, and if Bob Johnston can throw a 9, he'll give his team the lead. And there's 9 right there.
And he looks at looking at the 7 pin. A couple pieces of wood in front.
Oh, just spare in the 10th for Bob.
So that gives him a lead of 1 pin coming into the box. They're opposite of 9, so they're 2 up plus the fill.
The team of Farrell and Johnston, Dan, with 4 marks in this game, all of them on lane 29.
Chance to be in double figures. Ooh, big break
nice
there.
break. Looked like a spread eagle. Instead, it's a 7. It'll be a 120 for Farrell and Johnston, and they will carry a 9-pin lead into game 3, 242 to 233 in favor of our 2-time defending champions. We'll be back to see if they can make it 3 in a row. Don't go away. Oh, big start of game 3 for Tom Farrell. His team already 9 pins to the good, and he starts with a strike.
Well, it's one way to start protecting that 9-pin advantage is to throw the strike. And kicks out the 10-pin. 2, 4, and 7 left for a spare.
Yes, spare on strike. The winning team today comes back for the finals next Saturday, Christmas Day at 12 noon, against our number 1 seeded team of Stan Mayo and Scott Richardson. John Potorski and Gene Gates get last at bat in this 3rd game, being the higher seeds. John just missed that one. John and Gene, the red team. Tom Farrell and Bob Johnson, the blue team, as they have been throughout this series.
I don't know if I was a team waiting in the wings the way things are going. If this turns out this way, I want to wear a red shirt. Bowler's a very superstitious group, too.
Well, you can say that again.
1 and 3 pins left.
But I can't talk because I'm superstitious too, so.
Oh, I am too.
Yeah, very. For the spare for John? No.
Light on the head pin, went around the 3 pin. So all of a sudden, the close match is turning into one where the team of Johnson and Farrell could have a 30-pin advantage. Ooh, big break off the head pin. 7-pin drop, the 1, 6, and 10. And lots of lumber in between, in front of the 6 and 10, in between the head pin and the 6 pin.
Oh my. All kinds of wood flying around, nothing hit the head pin. And it'll go as a 9. But the lead all of a sudden has ballooned to 29. Thanks to those 2 big marks by Tom Farrell to start this 3rd game. Oh, Bob's got that down to a science, doesn't he?
He's got the pins kicking forward. Instead of having the spread eagle minus the 10 pin, he's got the 2, 4, 7 with a piece of wood. And there it goes. Well, I would dare say that Gene Gates is going to have to put up some offense now. Running out of frames. Well, 10 pin left.
Wood everywhere, but he'll go right at it. And he'll get it. Gene threw that ball a little bit softer.
I thought he did, yeah.
Making sure of his accuracy.
Right back in the pocket. 7, 10 pin won't go, or the 6, just a 7-pin drop. Fill is decent, but the pins are kind of spread out. 6 and 10 on the right, 7 pin in the left-hand corner. 3 pieces of wood on the plate.
Gene checked it out, but there's no way he could get that to snap over. And he'll take it out for the 10 after a little delay. 6 boxes to go in the match. We'll take a break and finish it out. Semi-final week just beginning. Don't forget, semifinals in singles tomorrow at noon. Peter Flynn against Dan LaPlume. We'll be back. All right, 6 boxes to go, and here's a big ball right here for Tom Farrell. His team leading by 20. But this ball will add to the lead. He's filling a mark, and it's a 9 drop. Slides by. And a 10. 75 half. Pretty good start when you have the lead already.
They had survived the last game, almost heroics by the teams they meet the last 2 weeks. This week they're going to make sure that.
Oh yes.
Oh, yes, they're not going to wait and leave it up to that other team to beat them. They want to be far enough ahead, and that's what they're doing. 30-pin advantage right now.
And that's 12 marks. A little turn of the wood there, and nothing to it.
You know things are going your way when the head pin is the last one to go down for a spare. Oh, there's a break for John. Well, maybe. 5 pin. Wants that wood to turn a little bit.
Try to hit it high if he can. He does,
nice shot.
and
Nice.
covers it.
Made it look easy.
Almost had to put up at least 1 mark. He'd love 2. That's 9 marks now for the team of Gates and Potorski, all of them spares. And what will the fill be? Look out. Another nice break. 8 is the drop, leaving the 1-3.
This is one he really needs this. Gotta hurry.
No. Well, John knew how important that shot was. So what this means now is that As we begin the final rotation, Bob Johnston up, and he can increase the lead again to over 30 with a big fill. Not quite big enough, 6. So the lead 28 through 6 boxes. Oh, big spare though. That's a big spare. Any marks that the team of Farrell and Johnston put up right now just make it all the more difficult for Gates and Potorski. 3 is the fill. Well, our first series of the year, we had Ed Gerolman and Brian Fuller run the table with 4 wins. Farrell and Johnston are maybe a step closer toward an attempt on the same effort next week. Nice 10 by Bob Johnston.
Very nice. When you get the lead, you can afford to take those chances with that third ball and see you're going to be all or none.
Final 2 now for Gene Gates.
Really have any chance, got to put at least 1 mark up for John.
That'll be a 10. Only loses 3 pins in that box. And now he, as Dan said, would love to put a mark up here. Oh, the same leave. The very same leave. 4 horsemen right, plus the 8 pin. Very tough shot. And it'll go as an 8. So a 33 pin advantage, make it 34 pin advantage. Solid 9 drop.
Tommy starts getting the ball in the pocket like he has this match. These pins just starting to fly. If he's had a problem, that's what it's been, the single pins.
Nine. Well, Tom with a chance to mathematically close out the team of Gates and Potorski if you were to put up a mark here in the 10th. Be a welcome change for them. They wouldn't have to sweat out those last 2 boxes. Spare leave on the 1, 2, and 4. No. So they'll have to wait it out, but it won't be quite as nerve-wracking maybe as it's been the last 2 weeks. A 9, a 132, and a 3-string total 374. Easily their best 3-game total of this 3-week run that they're on, or maybe on, if they hold on here. John Potorski has got to get strikes. And that will do it. Needed a strike right there. So make it 3 wins in a row for the team of Tom Farrell and Bob Johnston. And they have advanced to the championship match next week against Stan Mayo and Scott Richardson, who will probably be looking for some shirt color other than red. John Potorski to wrap it up with a 7, a 106, a 3-game total 339. And a bit of a breather here in the 3rd game this week for Tom Farrell and Bob Johnston. You see them congratulating each other. They've got that 3rd win now. And they will head to the championship match next week. We'll preview it and talk a little bit more about tomorrow's singles semifinal when we come back. Don't go away. So make it 3 wins in a row now for Tom Farrell and Bob Johnston. This time they put the score up a little bit higher, made it a little bit easier on themselves in the third game, and they're on to the finals.
Well, if they go up each time and they make it the one more win and put it over 400, they're not only going to win the entire ladder, but they're going to put themselves in the tournament of champions. Bowled much better today. They seemed a lot looser, and the pins were going a little better today.
And I think also, you're right, Dan, a question of now they're more comfortable. They've been here a couple times. They got the wins. They know they have the confidence from winning, even though the scores weren't higher, and they were able to use that to their advantage, I think.
Yeah, I almost thought when Tommy threw the double strike in that first game, but that didn't fill it very well. And then John came back with a couple. I thought the momentum might have switched back to John and Gene, but just didn't happen for him today.
All right, let's meet all the bowlers. First of all, let's bring up our runners-up. Gene Gates and John Potorski, come on up. As we have $250 for you guys to share, Gene and John for you, and we appreciate you both being here. And first for you, sir, your first trip, and it's great to see you back on television again.
Thank you. A bad day, but I enjoyed it.
It didn't seem to quite work really for either of you. You weren't able to get anything consistent going, it seemed.
Yeah, once I took out that 1-8, it was all downhill after that. What else could I say?
You always remember those too, don't you?
Oh, man. I thought it was a good ball going in there, and then all of a sudden I looked up, and it's just like someone bit you, you know?
Well, the other thing is, too, and obviously this has happened, everybody runs up against this problem. You run up against a team that's hot. They're bowling with confidence right now.
Correct.
Yeah.
They bowled real well.
Well, we appreciate both of you being here. John, don't stay away so long. And Gene, it's good to see you. We hope you see you again real soon.
Hope so.
All right, congratulations to both of you. Thanks very much. And now let's bring on our three-time winners. Bob Johnson and Tom Farrell, developing a cult following here at Londonderry Bowling Center. Congratulations again, guys. Well, you got I think the score up more in the neighborhood where you wanted it this time, right?
Yeah, so our opposing team bowled 330 instead of us bowling 330, so we was able to prevail. Imagine if I had a second ball, though, pick up some spare shots.
Well, it was funny, though. You were able to, I mean, this match was very, very close all the way down through two games, and then all of a sudden, the quick marks at the beginning of the third, you guys were able to open up a little lead this time.
Yeah, I think we're getting a little more adapted to TV, and we're doing pretty well now, so just hope we keep it up for one more week, that's all.
Well, that must not have been as much fun that time, because you didn't have to sweat out those last two boxes as much, right?
Don't worry about 20 pins the last box.
Next week, now before you guys came in, I'm sure you must have been thinking, well, what would it be like to kind of win a few matches in a row and get to the championship? You've done it now, and you'll be facing off against Stan and Scott next week.
It should be a good match. I didn't anticipate going farther than the first week, but starting to be fun, enjoying it.
But now that you're here, you're going to have fun with it, I'll bet.
We'll take it.
All
yes.
right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week for the championship match. Congratulations. Another terrific job. 3 wins in a row. One more round of applause for you. And another look at the ladder as we set you up for next week. Our championship match will be number 1 against number 5, as it will be Stan Mayo and Scott Richardson trying to stop the run of Tom Farrell and Bob Johnson, who right now are threatening to become the second team in 3 series here this season to run the table.
It seems like only yesterday we were saying how difficult it was to win 2 matches in a row. Now we got a chance for one team to sweep them.
Well, we've got Ed Gerolman and Brian Fuller, who already won 4 in a row. And not only did they win 4 in a row, but they won their 4th one with a 430. And you talked about the scores getting higher every week. Ed and Brian were on a terrific roll throughout their 4-week series, and who knows what the score will be next week to win.
That's a terrific score, 430. I think they're pretty safe at the top. I don't know. I may be wrong, but I think that's a tough score. But these guys keep improving. Who knows?
All right, don't forget, tomorrow at noon, here on the Winds, we will have our singles semifinal from Park Place Lanes in Wyndham. It will be Peter Flynn going for his 2nd win in a row. Dan LaPlume, the number 2 seed, will be his opponent. And don't forget, yes, next weekend is Christmas, but we will be here as usual here on Stars and Strikes next Saturday, Christmas Day at 12 noon with our doubles championship. And of course, a week from tomorrow, December 26th, with our singles championship. But don't forget to join us tomorrow at noon. Until then, for Dan Murphy and the whole crew, I'm Doug Brown. Have a good weekend, everybody.